Hello, dear friends. Crisis is not news. The news is everything interesting analysis about it. Opinion piece. World crisis. New monetary system. A problem in search of a solution. The plan would be a world currency. Energy change in the middle of the month. The dollar rises while there is a talk of de-dollarization. Let's start. What follows is a description of the current critical situation, but there is a light. This would be the right time that the world is waiting for the implementation of the new gold-backed QFS monetary system, provided by our galactic brethren. True financial reform would only come when a major global crisis broke out. Rest assured, a golden era will come. September brings new opportunities to continue entering in a harmonious timeline. According to PDB Mayor, the world economy has not been brought to its knees by incompetence, but by taxes and economic austerity policies and printing taxes. It is taking much longer than expected to control inflation. This has put enormous pressure on people's pockets and company budgets. Problem and solution. If the problems were only one of incompetence, the task would be very simple. It would be enough to concentrate on replacing the incompetent with other competent ones. But it's not like that. They are very competent in following the agenda of incompetence in order to create a problem in search of a solution. The problem would be the effect of all this on our freedom. Economic implosions have created enormous problems in search of a solution, and what is imposed would be to scrap what remains of national sovereignty, to fix what they have created. It would be a problem reaction solution that aims to lead us towards a totalitarian world state. If governments went bankrupt, citizens' wealth and savings would be at risk. It would be inevitable that changes would occur in the pension system and social security. The euro was never conceived as an end in itself. The plan would be a single electronic currency for the world. The euro was a Trojan horse to eliminate all the individual currencies that existed before. The plan would be to trash the euro and the dollar and move to a world currency, but this would be very difficult because the BRICS Plus group is opposed to any kind of monopoly on power. Debt. Around the world, governments have embarked on a runaway experiment with debt money that they could have issued themselves as debt-free, interest-free money. Credit money is printed out of thin air in absurd quantities, and so much money is borrowed that it cannot be returned to creditors. Interest rates are rising, so the existing debt is increasing the total debt by hundreds of billions of euros and dollars every year. The predominant trend in the world will be reduction and deflation. People are losing faith in the monetary system as a result of investors around the world losing faith in currencies that are no longer the safe haven they once were. In a world of high debt, paper currencies are losing confidence one after another. When the monetary crisis arrived, the first priority of governments would be to control the existing supply of capital. All sorts of new laws and regulations would be introduced about what you can do with your own money. There would be inflation when all those trillions of newly printed currency hit the economy. Economy. The dollar rises to 6-month highs. Milei from Argentina negotiates external financing to dollarize the economy. Economics Mark Faber wants that de-dollarization would reshape the world economy. Faber believes that instead of having one global currency, It is better for the world to have many different currencies and for countries to trade freely with each other using their own currencies. Eviction notices are skyrocketing in Los Angeles for renters of all economic levels. Iran launches into the patches of gold, while the global trend towards de-dollarization accelerates. Brent crude oil surpasses $91 for the first time since November 2022. The price of gasoline reaches its highest seasonal level in more than 10 years. Paris bets on the bicycle, and London on the electric scooter. China's state banks are trading dollars for yuan as Chinese officials told the state banks to intervene in markets to limit yuan volatility, according to Bloomberg. Chip war intensifies. China will launch a $40 billion state fund for semiconductor manufacturing. Saudi Arabia could turn its back on the US and build its first nuclear power plant with China. India aspires to contribute to the world economy at the same level as China. Russia will stop buying currencies to launch its digital ruble. Russia will extend the cut in its oil exports until the end of 2023. William Reed talks about Japan's spiritual plan for humankind. Spain. The state may spy on journalists and newsrooms for general interest, in quotes, if they do not reveal the sources. Brussels prepares the new law on freedom of the media. Tourists in Benidorm are warned about fish attacks after 15 vacationers a day are injured by bites. The funds invest 50,000 million in Spanish debt, a record since 2019. The Spanish public treasury places almost 7 billion in debt, and the interest offered for 30 years exceeds 4%. The Spanish-speaking Jewish community asked the RAE to abolish the definition of Jew as a greedy person or usurer, in quotes. Frequency change. Media Gear believes that the end of times would be the next September 23rd, according to her interpretation of a biblical prophecy. Pleiadian message by Christine Day. A secret revelation would take place in the middle of this month. As the scandal effects continues to gain momentum, a new glow would be about to enter that would begin to create a higher space of consciousness. Each location will be used as the anchor point for a large mandala wheel. The magnetic core will have a multidimensional opening that would create huge energetic shifts across the planet. You can expect a flurry of changes as the experience of time disintegrates. Do we need everyone to wake up now? Asks Sunflower. We can stop worrying about waking up the sleepers, because they will wake up to fulfill their soul's purpose when the time is right, within the divine plan. Message from Keshash. The Dark Ones have been so lost in illusion for thousands of years that they do not realize that the ascension of the earth and the elevation of humankind to the fifth dimension is unstoppable. In fact, everything is fulfilled and completed when viewed from a higher perspective. You are presented with different realities, from the brightest to the darkest in terms of frequency and experiences. It is up to each person to choose what type of reality they want to form, because the phoenix is rising. Place your hands on your heart, breathe, and say, I am love, 3 times. See how this ocean of love spans from the center of the heart, enveloping the world. Do this daily, and everything that comes to your way will be transmuted. Still point by Judith Castle. When one rises in consciousness, one will often find oneself in internal turbulence, which is reflected in external turbulence. What is really happening is that you are receiving a great wake-up call to finally break down all the barriers of the old you and the old regimes that kept you unconscious in fear and suffering. Curious. The largest search for the Loch Ness Monster in 50 years without technology ends. The operation had almost 300 members who joined the operation that was called the Quest. Volunteers from different parts of the world were established at 17 observation points, while the same number climbed onto the boats. Likewise, drones equipped with infrared cameras and hydrophones were deployed and combed the area. A surge of energy and excitement took over the team when, at one point, a characteristic gargling sound was heard at the bottom of Loch Ness. But the weather in the area didn't help the operation find the monster. In addition to very rough waves, the rain began to impede visibility and became a noise catching for drones with acoustic equipment. The team did not obtain conclusive evidence of the monster's existence, but there is recorded material to review. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.